Welcome to a snowy Easton, Pennsylvania. I am Michael Joseph here, and this is Lafayette football signing day here. And what a day it is. It's an unbelievable day for all you Leopard fans out there who have awaited football, some sort of football, whatever it has to be, and we're going to get your fill tonight. So welcome again. Thank you so much for joining us here. We got a fantastic program for you, and I really start the day off right here. Well, let's just welcome in the head football coach from Lafayette College, John Garrett. John, you got to be so excited up there on the hill today. What a day for Lafayette College football.
Well, thanks, Mike. It's always a great day, National Signing Day. It's an opportunity for us to add 21 fantastic student athletes to our football team, and we're excited about each and every one. It's a class that we're very proud of. It's a very talented class, but one primarily that is just filled with personal character, football character, work ethic, talent, and one that also fills a lot of our needs as well. So I'm looking forward to tonight and talking about these young men.
Yeah, adding 21 kids is amazing, and getting that many kids through everything you and your staff had to go through. Tell me a little bit about that. I mean, through COVID and everything, obviously we talked back in December, you had 15 kids, you're going to add 6 more tonight. But the challenges that you faced through COVID with film and seeing kids in person and getting them on campus, I mean, a lot of that had to go by the wayside, and you really had to go by, your gut feeling on a kid and what they were like as a person. And are they, as you always say, the right kind of person for a Lafayette football student?
Well, that's the first filter for us. Is he the right kind of guy? And we put them through that filter. We don't get seduced by height, weight, and speed, even though we recognize talent is important. We want guys that are good fits for Lafayette College, true student athletes, because they have to thrive here in our academic atmosphere, as well as be true competitors on the field. So with the onset of COVID and not playing this fall, we actually spent a lot more time recruiting than we normally would, because it just filled the void that the actual practicing and playing the games left available to us. So we spent a lot of time on Zoom calls, virtual tours, FaceTimes with recruits just to get to know them. And you actually find out that you can talk to a lot more people on a computer than having to go to each city during those contact periods to find out about them. So it was kudos to our entire staff, our assistant coaches, our recruiting staff. It's a culmination of a lot of hard work and great evaluations by our staff to put this great class together. So I'm excited for tonight to tell everybody about the 21 young men who are our newly signed Leopards.
Well, let's talk about it a little bit. Obviously, you secured 6 more commitments today to add to the 15. We're going to talk about a total of 21 players. We're going to talk about 11 players offensively, 10 players defensively. What I noticed right away, like you said, Coach, the athletic ability, the size of some of these kids, and the length. Is that something you were targeting? Obviously, kids that can play multiple positions, kids that can come in here and help you, because with the fact that even with the COVID, you can't redshirt these kids. These kids have to be able to come in and play special teams. They got to be able to show you right off the bat what they can do. Can they make the bus? So Lafayette's a special place for that, and the Patriot League's a special place for that.
Well, you're right. There are no red shirts, and they have to contribute ideally for those first 4 years. And we have strict parameters that we want to follow as far as their physical guidelines, and we've laid that out to our staff, but there's also strict parameters and filters they have to clear intangibly as well. Like I alluded to earlier, being the right kind of guy is really important to us. They have to show football character, personal character, the ambition to be a true student athlete, because those are the kids that thrive here at Lafayette College. So it's about the fit for Lafayette. And also too, that personal character and that football character is really important, because you want guys that love football, who are competitive, and have all the right intangibles.
Did you ever think, Coach, you and I are kind of old timers, you'd think you ever be talking about the class of 2025? Unbelievable, right? I mean, just to have these kids on campus and it's going to be a pleasure. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it a little bit. We're going to first look at the 11 offensive players, and there are 6 new ones, like I said, but we're going to cover each and every one of them. We're going to try to get through them pretty quickly. We're going to go from video to video. So everybody out there is going to have a chance to see these kids. If you're watching live, we are live on goleopards.com. And you're going to get a chance to see these kids up close. So Coach Garrett and I will comment on those. Let's start right away. Let's have Mr. Sabino there pull up Najee Adams. Najee Adams is a running back right here in Easton, Pennsylvania. I had an up-close view of this gentleman for 3 years at Easton High School and was nothing but impressed. Big, strong, unbelievable numbers as a junior. I remember 1,900 yards as a junior, all-league, powerful home run hitter. Coach, got to love everything about Najee Adams, a good player and even a better person.
Well, exactly right, Mike. Najee is a really good talent and a fantastic person. Like you said, just being able to land a local player from the great program of Easton High School is very rewarding for us. And Najee has represented that program very well. As you can see, he's big, strong, he's powerful. He has the elusiveness to make people miss in the hole and out in space, and has the speed to finish off these runs. As you can see, he's very difficult to tackle. And he also has some receiving ability. But most importantly, he has this humble competitiveness that I admire, that he just wants to be the best in every aspect of his life. And he's poised and ready to show that as a Lafayette Leopard. And that's a great video right there of doing it in the Peterborough game, right in our stadium. And it's great to have such a hometown star come to Lafayette and be a Leopard.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a little trouble getting tickets for everybody is what I think. But that was so fun to watch. And I was hoping that we would have a video of him scoring touchdowns on our field. And, I had a chance, like I said, to watch him play. He was nicked up a little bit during his senior year with his ankle and stuff. So you're getting a fresh back, you're getting a strong back. And I think he played at about 190, now 205. He's going to be a nice addition to your stable of running backs. So Najee Adams, just a terrific get, and one of the 6 players that you signed today that you didn't have in December.
Yeah, another thing about him, Mike, he's a 2-time team captain, and that just adds to the character of this recruiting class, because we have 11 team captains in the class. That means they were the captain of their football team. So that's a tangible evidence of their football character.
Yeah, and to be named the captain as a junior, that's something special. And now you got a really good one there. And I'm so looking forward to watching him in short yardage and score touchdowns. So let's move on here. We have a wide receiver we took a look at back in December, but Chris Caracia, wide receiver out of Oakhurst, New Jersey. He's out of Ocean Township High School. I just love him. I love the way he goes up for the football. Tell me what you liked about Chris and what he brings to the program.
Well, Chris is a tall, long, athletic, fast receiver that we were on early. He came to our first junior day in February prior to the pandemic. We had vetted him real closely. Receiver coach Jake Flaherty did a great job recruiting him. And, he's a guy that adds versatility. He can score from long distances, like right here. He took a screen all the way here, and there's shots where he's going deep. So he's an athletic guy that's versatile, that can play a lot of positions. As you can see here, they hand him the ball off as a running back, and he outruns people, but he's also has elusiveness after the catch to make a short catch into a long run.
Yeah, I love the way he beats press coverage, like right there. He has like I said, he creates, everybody talks about this now. It creates separation at the top of the route and then can go get the ball in those one-on-one. And when you're 6'1", 6'2", can go up for the football. We talked about the class of wide receivers you had last year as freshmen. They're coming back. Obviously, he's going to add to that room. I noticed that he was a track kid as well, ran the 100, the 200, the 4x1, the 4x2. And a smart kid as well. I'm going to add to the classroom. He's going to be an economics major. So a really good get there. And Chris, and we're going to need tickets for him because he's not more than an hour and a half away.
Yeah, that's another thing, Mike. I was looking at it today, and about 80% of our recruiting class are multiple sport athletes, whether it's football and track or baseball or basketball, lacrosse, you know, those dual sport athletes are near and dear to my heart, and just means that they love to compete.
Yeah, and when you find a kid like that, what you find is a kid that knows how to manage his time, knows how to fit in at Lafayette. He balances both athletics and academics, and these kids are, we don't mention enough is how academically well adjusted these kids are. These kids are the top of the top, not only on the field but off the field in the classroom. They come with great references, and Chris is one of those. Let's talk about your quarterback you got here, Ashawn Davis, 6'3", 205-pound quarterback out of Willingboro, New Jersey, Willingboro High School. I just love him. I think he's got great pocket awareness, and obviously he's a dual sport or dual athlete. He can do it all, but he likes to stay in the pocket and throw the football, and he's got a strong arm.
Well, Sean is a great talent that we were thrilled to have commit to us. As you can see, he has success in the pocket as a pocket passer, but he also can pull it down and run and be a threat as a scrambler. But as you can see, just excellent accuracy deep. And he can throw the sideline comeback as well. But he's a big, strong guy who's hard to bring down. And then, you know, he won state championships at Willingboro, and he is one of a half a dozen New Jersey recruits that we have on our roster. So we are thrilled for Ashawn being part of our team, and he's certainly going to compete for the quarterback spot this year.
Yeah, he can get it done. And like I said, I love the way he keeps his eyes downfield, two hands on the football, all the things you teach. He's not dropping his eyes when the rush is on him. Those how to move and slide. And it's so big nowadays. I saw that he threw for 4,200 yards, 54 touchdowns, just 16 interceptions. He's the all-time passing leader at Willingboro, and they've had some good ones. He had a cousin that played at Rutgers. He's undecided right now with his major, but this is a kid that, you know, with his arm strength and size, like you said, he's going to look to compete right away. So you're going to have to take a good look at him. Ashawn Davis is a really, really good one, Coach.
Well, you mentioned all the production he had, and that's another characteristic of this recruiting class. If you really look at the bios of these 21 student athletes, the production at their positions is incredible. And that in itself is a great criteria, because certainly you want guys that are proven on the field, part of your recruiting class.
Sure, exactly. And now we're going to talk about some of your offensive linemen. We're going to start here with Mark Gorbatenko. Mark is out of Clear Creek, Amana, but he has an interesting story. We talked about it back in December, had to move out and obviously get himself, I believe this is the young man that got himself an apartment, played at a different place, but he's 6'6", 250, Coach. And, you know, to fill the offensive line room, give Coach Pace a lot of kids is nothing. And I think that's one of the things that you've done here since you've got here is really complete that offensive line and get a lot of depth there.
Well, Mark is a really good athlete and a good talent, and shows that he loves football. He's from South Barrington, Illinois, and they weren't playing football this fall. So he moved to Iowa and got an apartment and lived there by himself so he could play football at a school there that was playing. And he just keeps getting better and better, you know, with all the workouts he's doing and things like that. He's got a lot of athleticism, a lot of tools, and the more and more he plays, he's gonna help us and really challenge for some playing time on the offensive line. We're really glad to have him on.
Yeah, I love the way he's got good flexibility. You know, to find a kid of that size that can get in a left-handed stance, get in a right-handed stance. I love the way he rolls his hips. And again, he's got great character as well. He's listed as a computer science major. He's the oldest of 7 children, and he played hockey too. So he's got to have good feet and strong legs. So, I mean, that's a really good get. And he's one of the 5 offensive linemen that you did get. I mean, we didn't talk about the numbers here, but you know, you have the 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wideouts, 5 offensive linemen, and 1 inline tight end that can stretch the field as well. That's got to be exciting for you. We're going to move on right now to another running back. You know, we're looking at, you know, kids that can, what you like to do, feed the football to, control the line of scrimmage. Michael Hayes, a 5'11", 200-pound running back out of Sarasota, Florida, Riverview High School. This is obviously one of the kids you got just recently, one of the 6 you're going to add. What did you like about Michael Hayes?
Well, first of all, Michael Hayes is a big, strong, tough running back. He's versatile. He was named running back of the year in his team, but also wide receiver as well. So he can be productive out of the slot. He's productive when you hand him the ball, and he's really hard to tackle. He's got a great lower body, contact balance, finishes off runs, and he's tough. He's physical and hard to tackle. So he's got the body for it already. He's a physically mature young man and has a lot of playmaking ability. So we're really glad to have another running back of high caliber who is so versatile as well, because we throw the ball to the backs and he'll fit in to our offensive system really well.
Yeah, you mentioned obviously the versatility because in your offense, I mean, they're just not lining up in the eye. They're in the slot, they're down in the out as wide receivers. They come back, they run the speed sweep, they catch the ball out of the backfield. It's so important. And we saw it last year when we finished the year at Lehigh. Some of the big catches, Jaden Sutton made a big catch out of the backfield on the last drive. I mean, these kids are going to be asked Selwyn catching, catching screens and things like that. And it's important to not be able to just to tote the rock, but be able to catch it out of the backfield. It's so important nowadays. And, between Hayes and Adams, Coach, those are two you can really build a foundation on.
Well, we're pleased with them. And behind this offensive line that we're building, we're going to be able to control the line of scrimmage. And if you can do that and you can run the ball, you can control the game. And that's always been something that we're striving for. So we're really excited to have Michael and Najee as well.
Well, talking about controlling the offensive line, Coach, this next guy, John Olmstead, 6'6", 300 pounds. He's, a local kid from St. Joe's Metuchen down here in Jersey, comes to you you can tell the story via Notre Dame, but this kid is somebody that can help you probably early. He's big and strong, and he's mature, and he's a great kid.
Well, we're so excited that John's part of our Lafayette football program. He is a transfer from Notre Dame, and you watch his high school tape here, and you can tell that he's just physically dominant, and he's a guy that certainly we would have recruited and been thrilled to have just off his high school tape. But now he has that FBS experience as well, who can come in here right away, and he's going to add some physical maturity and some veteranness to our offensive line. And he certainly will bolster it from a run blocking standpoint, but also as a pass blocker as well. And he comes from a great high school program. He's teammates with Brian Riley, who's a linebacker on our team. And those two are real good friends. And Brian endorses John very much, and they work out together. And so we're just thrilled to have John part of our offensive line and a member of our team.
Yeah, shout out to Brian there. Obviously, Brian gave a good word to him and really talked up Lafayette, and we're glad to have him. And he's going to have to come in here and work. And just like everybody else, comes from an extremely athletic family, going to major in sociology. And, he's going to do nothing but add positives there. And like I had mentioned on the December call, I may want to be Coach Pace because he may be the coach of the year after getting some of these kids. Don't know pressure there, Coach Pace, though. Let's move on to Jalen Patterson, a wide receiver. Again, your second of the two wide receivers. The first one, Caracia. This one, Jalen Patterson out of Mason, Ohio. Coach, St. Xavier, you're really getting into Ohio and doing a good job.
Well, Jalen's a really good player from St. X. One of the guys that won a state championship in the fall. St. X is a fantastic program. Coach Speck does a great job. And we're really pleased to have Jalen on the team. He's a big, strong, athletic playmaker. He can be productive deep. He also is competitive. He'll go after the ball. And he's hard to bring down once he catches it. He's also a two-sport athlete. He's a very good baseball player. And then decided this year that he wants to concentrate in football in college. But to have the production that he had, particularly in the state championship game, we are thrilled to get him. And Coach Ricky Brown, who recruits the area, Cincinnati, he's from there himself. He's done a great job getting some kids from Cincinnati and St. X. And we're really pleased to have Jalen. He's going to bring some playmaking ability to our offense.
Yeah, first team all league selection, 63 catches, 800 yards this year, 9 touchdowns. Going to major in economics. I mean, Coach, did you have your, quick question, did you have your eyes on these 6 kids all the way through? Did any of them come to you late, or were they just not ready to commit in December and they just needed a little bit more time?
Well, they were all different. Everybody has a different timeline in their recruiting. We were aware of all of them, but as you put the class together, certain guys become more prominent with regard to your interest, and these guys reciprocated with that interest, and we pursued them. And our area and position coaches did a phenomenal job bringing them home and committing. And we just never stopped, Mike. We didn't get complacent after that first recruiting signing period. And we just kept the pedal to the metal, so to speak, and wanted to really finish with a good class. And Jim Gilchrist, our director of recruiting, did an awesome job of laying it out. And our position coaches and area recruiters finished it off. So we got a great staff who works really, really hard at recruiting, and they understand that we're all better coaches and a better team when we can recruit really good players. So, and we did that this signing period.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it. Absolutely. Jim Gilchrist does a phenomenal job. And to get, as a fan, you're looking, well, they may need this position, they may need this position, but it filled up really nicely. And Jalen Patterson, we just talked about, a great wide receiver. And I love the schools, St. Xavier and the Pennington School and St. Joe's St. Joe's METUCHEN, and great schools. Let's move on to Tyler Roberts here, a tight end. Okay. We love tight ends. You love the tight end. 6'4", 235 pounds, Morgan Hill, California, Valley Christian High School. I love him. Moves well, good inline blocker, can stretch the field down the middle, and he's going to fit in real well. And a biochemistry major. This kid's got it upstairs as well as on the field.
Well, it comes from a great program at Valley Christian. He showed lots of versatility as a tight end, as an inline blocker, but also as a receiver. Smart, tough, dependable, really bright academically. And he's a kid that has the versatility to play multiple positions, just how we use tight ends in the passing game, receiving short and long, in the run game as a blocker, as a point of attack blocker, as a second puller on counter. He has the flexibility, the athleticism, and the strength and the versatility to do all those jobs. So he fits in nicely with what we require and want in a tight end.
Yeah, that's a position that goes a little unsung sometimes if you're not in line. That H-back, like you said, that pulling second blocker where you can leave the backside tackle at home, pull the guard. I mean, he's got great feet. He's got good flexibility. Tyler Roberts, a good get. And, we got to remember, these kids are freshmen, 6'4", 235. He's going to be 6'5", 255, 260 by the time he's a junior. So good framework to work with. Let's talk about Gus Salopek, an offensive lineman, another big offensive lineman, 6'5", 250 pounds, out of Ohio again. Not St. Xavier, but St. Ignatius. I mean, this kid's a good, again, great school. He's well coached. Tell me what you liked about Gus.
Well, Gus, again, comes from a fantastic program, rich in football tradition. St. Ignatius, good as it gets. And Gus shows the toughness, the athleticism, the agility, the use of hands to be a really good football player. He has experience playing tackle. He has experience playing guard. We love that versatility in offensive line. And this guy is a tough, hard-nosed, high-effort player that is well coached. Coach Kyle does a great job at St. Ignatius, and we have a ton of respect for their program and Ohio high school football in general.
Yeah, I love it's hard to talk about patience as an offensive lineman, but you can see his patience when he pass sets, when he checks the inside gap, when he slides his feet, he doesn't get overextended. I mean, he just plays with a lot of patience and a lot of, the game's slowing down for him a little bit. Now it'll speed up when he gets to the college level, but Gus is that type of kid, he's well coached. I love the fact that he's going to major in economics. and he is a talented musician as well. So these kids bring a lot of stuff to the table, as we say. A really good get there for Gus. Let's talk about another offensive lineman. We're going to go down south. You're all over the place, Coach. A lot of kids from Ohio, the Valley, around. Let's go to Tampa, Florida, and talk about Matthew Schurer, 6'7", 285 pounds, out of Tampa, Florida, Plant High School. Just a massive frame, great pass pro, well coached as well, and a really good kid.
Well, Matthew, again, comes from a fantastic program. Plant has a history of competing and winning state championships. And big, strong, tough, goes a long way as an offensive lineman. And he is those three things. He's playing left tackle, and his length, his flexibility, his strength, is just able to control defensive linemen at Plant High School as a senior. And he's just going to keep getting better and better and better as he grows into his body, as he matures physically. And he's a guy that is going to compete early, but also has a lot of potential for later on down the road.
Sure. 6'7", 285 pounds. And let's round out the offensive line, because we can make our own our all-star offensive line here, Coach. Let's talk about Sidney Weibel, 6'6", 270 pounds, just up the road here, Darien, Connecticut, up Route 95. Great, great size. I love his flexibility. You got a massive O-line unit here. This kid has great pedigree as well. Grandfather played at Yale, uncles at Lehigh and Columbia. And, you know, overall football record, he was 23-5 as a starter on that offensive line.
Well, another big, strong, tough offensive lineman with some versatility. As you can see, he's physical. He uses his hands, keeps his feet underneath him, is able to get movement at the point of attack. It's a guy that has the strength to be a point of attack run blocker, but also the ability to anchor and pass protection. And with that length, as he improves his technique, it'll be hard to get around him for a defensive lineman to sack the quarterback. So we're pleased to have Sidney with us, and it rounds out an offensive line group that we're thrilled to be part of this recruiting class.
Yeah, I mean, that is we'll finish with the offense there. That's 11 players, Coach. I mean, really a nice looking grad. I want to give a little shout out, maybe yourself too, to your players who had to host these kids, talk to these kids, do what they could do under the NCAA rules. That goes a little unsung. Obviously, you and your staff did a great job, but it takes some time for these kids to understand, is Lafayette the right place? And a lot of that comes down to your players and how they host and talk to these kids, correct?
Well, you know, obviously they couldn't see our players. So most of the work is from our assistant coaches and Jim Gilchrist. And also it's appropriate too to give kudos and thanks to our admissions team and our enrollment team for all the hard work they do looking at these transcripts and admitting these very talented student athletes. So Greg McDonald and Matt Hyde and Jerome do a fantastic job of helping us out and working together to put this class together. But you know, really, it's a credit to Lafayette College, because the reputation is nationally known, globally known, and if you are a student athlete who wants to be a true student athlete and excel in the classroom and on the field, Lafayette's a great place. You do it on a beautiful campus with a national academic reputation and beautiful facilities, just like my background shows right here, the wonderful Fisher Stadium. So Lafayette sells itself, and our coaches and our recruiting staff do a phenomenal job making it happen.
Absolutely. So many people to thank for this. Let's move on to the defense, Coach. We'll get through this. You got some great players here. On the defensive side, we're going to look at 4 defensive linemen. We're going to look at 2 linebackers, 4 defensive backs. So obviously the defense is very important to you guys. You got the defensive coordinator now, and Coach McFadden is going to take over. Let's start with Isaiah Ambrose, a defensive back. We looked at him back in December out of Birmingham, Alabama, but he comes to you almost with a redshirt year out of Wyoming Sem. Love him. Just love what he does as a former DB coach. He's got great hips. This is a kid that can make a lot of plays for you.
Well, Isaiah, we found out about him right after last year's recruiting period ended, and he needed a place to go. And so we watched him and evaluated him, and had an opportunity to send him to prep school up at Wyoming Sem, led by Jim Anderson, who does a great job there. And he showed the ability at John Carroll Catholic High School down in Birmingham, and he continued to show it at Wyoming Sem. He was a great addition to both schools. He's tough. He'll tackle. He'll compete in one-on-one coverage. He plays the ball well. He's athletic and versatile. And we're really pleased that Isaiah is going to be on our team this year.
Yeah, great hips, tacks the ball, just like you said. I love the fact that he finds the football in the air. He's got good speed. He seems to really understand coverage. And a lot of kids understand man-to-man, but they don't really understand zone and where they fit into that zone. And I think Isaiah does that really well. He's going to major in economics, and he's going to be a welcome addition to that DB room. Let's talk about a defensive end, coach. One of the 6 kids you had coming in here, after the December signing period, Terrell Cannon, 6'4", 250 pounds, Union High School, Vauxhall, New Jersey, not far away from here, just about an hour. Just a really good player. Love his motor, great intensity. This is a kid that you picked up later on down the line, but look at the size, 6'5", 255. Tell me about Mr. Cannon.
Well, with Terrell, you can never have enough pass rushers, Mike Joseph, and he's got a natural feel for it. He has that ability to turn the corner and sink his hips and get to the passer. And he's got long arms. He's athletic. He's tough. He's competitive. Coach Andrew Ciamalo did a fantastic job finding him, recruiting him, and bringing him to the table. And we were able to present everything about Lafayette College to Terrell and his mom, and he made a wise decision to commit to the Leopards. And when you can affect the quarterback, you have a guy that can affect the game, and you can't have enough of those guys. And I often smile when I think about him and Malik coming off each edge.
I didn't say it. I was going to say it, but I let you say it first. I mean, Malik's in a different class. We mentioned that in December. I said, wow, there's a kid, and you said to me, now let's not go too fast here. Malik is a different class, but this kid's ferocious, coach. He plays every down. He's got untapped potential. I really don't think Mr. Cannon knows how good he can be. He had 12 sacks in his career. And he had an uncle that played Division I football. He's untapped, and hopefully Malik's listening, take him under his wing, but this kid can be a really good one. And that's a great get here, obviously, between this middle of December and February. You guys did a great job there, and he's not far away either, an hour, right?
No, and we have great respect for the high school football in New Jersey as a border state. We consider him a local kid, and another team captain, another all-conference performer. And he was disruptive, and he's a natural pass rusher. And those guys are hard to find. And our recruiting staff, led by Jim Gilcrease, and in this case, highlighted by Coach Ciamalo, did a great job bringing him home to become a Lafayette Leopard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think D-line's the hardest position to recruit for. All of them. The D-line is the toughest. How about Gabe Dubois here? 5'10", 165-pound defensive back. St. X again, coach. St. Xavier, Cincinnati, Ohio. Love his change of direction. So athletic. And what I noticed, coach, he's a special teams player. He's a kid that can change the game on special teams. What'd you like about him?
Well, Gabe is a smart, tough, competitive defensive back who is versatile, plays a lot of positions. He plays inside, as you can see him here. Got a nose for the football. Just plays the ball really well. He's fast. He's competitive. Plays on all special teams. He can also go outside and play corner. Look at the anticipation to read the quarterback's eyes and not only catch it, but to finish it with a score on defense, which is just game-changing plays. But really strong and tough for his size, athletic, playmaker on the ball, and he's going to be a guy that we look to fill a lot of different roles on our football team. Not defense, but on third down and special teams as well.
Yeah, I love. They see him the return ability here. I mean, the kid can do it all. I love the fact that he's not afraid, like you said, to play in space, but still be able to get down inside the box and play in the box. He's going to be a psychology major. I think he had a they have a state title, right? St. X had a state title.
State title, yes.
Yep. And he was the point guard on the basketball team. So who else do you
Mhm.
want? You got a quarterback on defense there. So, Gabe is an excellent get as well. Let's move on to another defensive back here out of Marietta, Georgia. I mean, Austin Eldred, 5'11", 180 pounds. I mean, Georgia is a hotbed for football, but this kid is a ball hawk. He's got great feet, quick COD, change of direction, attacks the ball. I love the way he plays relaxed and the game comes to him. It's almost like the game slows down, but Austin is a really good get. I loved what I saw from him.
Well, Austin is athletic, smooth, competitive, anticipates, plays the ball well, and just great football character and personality. This guy lights up a room when you talk to him. Going to be impressive in every situation that he's in. Really like the way he competes. We love defensive backs that intercept the ball. Game-changing plays, and he's one of them. And he has the tools. He's got length. He's got man-to-man coverage skill because he can break on the ball. He's got a burst, quickness, lateral quickness, and all that athleticism combined with his football character and competitiveness are the reasons why we wanted to make him a Lafayette Leopard.
Yeah, and that secondary coach there, you got a couple kids graduating, but you got some kids. You want them. To me, the defensive backfield, you got to have competition. You got to have kids pushing kids from behind, especially at the corner position. Your safeties, or your quarterbacks back there, they get people lined up. But the corners, you have to have competition there. And guys like this, with Gabe coming in and Austin and Isaiah, they're going to create a lot of competition, and that's what lights the fire under some of your older kids as well. So that's a great get. And Marietta, Georgia, he had I think a brother that played at Mississippi Valley State where the Jerry Rice played. He's going to major in economics. But let's talk about another D lineman now, Ryder Langsdale. Ryder Langsdale out of Ridgewood, again, not too far away. Big, tall, 6'7", 250 pounds. I mean, the first thing you notice about him is how big he is and how long he is, Coach. Ryder, tell us about him. What'd you like there?
Well, you said it. Big is good when you're on the defensive line, and long arms is even better. And he's got both of them. And he's competitive. He's slithery as a pass rusher. You see the extra effort there and the acceleration off blocks. He has the flexibility to turn the corner as an outside rusher, but enough strength to push the pocket, to condense it, to just annoy the quarterback. Really good key and diagnose to make plays in the run game. And, when you have a high school player who's continuing to grow, this young man's going to be a really big, strong, athletic guy. Just to be able to move that well and be coordinated to make a spin move and get off that block like he just displayed at his size, the sky's the limit with him. He's got loads of potential, and another great recruiting job by Coach Ciamalo to bring him home and commit to Lafayette.
Yeah, I like Ryder. I like what he does. And the thing I was impressed with when I read his bio is he grew almost 6 inches from his sophomore to his senior year, and he gained 80 pounds. So like you said, I don't think he's done. He may watch himself. He may end up down at a 3 tech. He might be 300 pounds by the time he's finished, but he is like you said, you can see he's got the feet of an athlete inside that big body, and he can move it. Let's talk about a linebacker here. I love this kid. I think Tim O'Hearn, 6'4", 215 pounds. You obviously love the area, know the area real well. Coppell, I think it's Coppell, Texas, Coppell High School. I just love the way he plays football, relaxed. He's relentless. He's big. Man, this kid can really play, Coach. I really like this kid a lot.
Well, Tim is a versatile, athletic, tall and long outside linebacker. He's got a lot of versatility. He'll be able to rush the passer on third down and also set the edge on first and second down, which are requirements for our defense. He's disruptive. He's tough. He plays with a lot of effort and energy. And the production is there, not only affecting the quarterback, but in pursuit plays and also at the point of attack to key, diagnose, and read plays and make tackles behind the line of scrimmage. So a lot of potential as he grows and matures. He's just going to turn into a guy that is going to be hard to deal with at our level.
Yeah, he reminds me of a little cross between Billy Schaefer and Marco. You know, Marco is a guy you got out of Texas last year out of Fort Worth. What a get he was. I mean, you know, just a relentless motor, played hurt, played injured, did everything right, made a huge impacts. And obviously the biggest game last year against Lehigh, he was terrific. But this is another linebacker from Texas, coach. You got something going on there. I really like Tim O'Hearn, and that's a big body, a real big body. So let's talk about Philip Pfeiffer, 6'5", 220-pound, another defensive lineman out of Kentucky. We don't see a lot of kids come out of Kentucky, but I believe you got 2 of them this year. Let's talk about Frankfort, Texas, and Philip Pfeiffer and what he brings to the table here in College Hill.
Well, Franklin County High School, Philip, again, is a big, strong, athletic player who can play on the edge as a defensive lineman. He has a knack for rushing the passer, does a good job of using his hands to disengage and get to the quarterback. And, you know, tall, long, athletic, and tough goes a long way. And it's these 2 guys back to back fit that bill. Plays with separation, can key and diagnose. Again, he just gets after the quarterback, and he's hard to block. These tall, long, athletic players are hard to block because they can play with separation, and if they use their hands effectively, they can escape those blocks and make tackles behind the line and sack the quarterback. So he's a guy that we're really glad to have on our team.
Yeah, I mean, you look at those kids on that D line that you're bringing in, the Cannon and Langsdale and Pfeiffer. These are kids, like you said, have the extension. They can lock kids out. Kids can't get to their body. They have the ability to get off blocks violently, and that's what you see on film. And when you're big and strong like that, and you can run, and you got that length, I mean, you know, people are going to look at you. And obviously, you and your staff did a great job right there. Phillip's a really good get, a big kid too, 6'5", 220 pounds. Let's talk about a kid out of Campbellsville, Kentucky now. Campbellsville High School, Reggie Thomas, 6'1", 190-pound linebacker, runs really, really well. I love where he can play in the box. He's got good hips. He almost reminds me of a safety playing the linebacker position, maybe grew out of the safety, but he's a tremendous hitter. And I can imagine seeing Reggie. I mean, some kids can blitz and some kids can't, but when you watch Reggie, you just know that he can do it all.
Well, he impacted the game in every way for his high school team. He intercepted the ball on defense. He made TFLs on defense. He ran the ball as a running back, and nobody could hardly tackle him. He was Conference Player of the Year. He was their team captain. Just excellent effort, physical, tough, impressive tackler. And he was just productive all over the field, and great versatility. We have him slated to play linebacker for us. And, you know, as you can see, he just made a lot of plays in a lot of different ways, and just a wonderful character kid as well. And really, really glad to have him, and great job by Coach Ricky Brown finding him in Kentucky and bringing him home.
Yeah, he's like you said, he played offense, he played running back on offense. I watched those highlights. He was terrific. And you said it too, a 4-sport athlete. He played 4 sports in high school. So the balance there, he's going to be an economics major. Reggie is great. We got 2 more to go here. Let's talk about Sekou White, a 6'1", 185-pound defensive back out of, again, Norcross, Georgia, Greater Atlanta Christian, long strider, tremendous hips, I wrote down. He's got a great pedigree, had an uncle that played big time football. You know, this kid, he understands, and the game again slows down for him. I really like Sekou White, and he's going to be a good addition for you. What did you like?
Well, Sekou, first of all, is a fantastic person. Sekou shows athleticism, versatility, the ability to play the ball, anticipation as a defensive back. He's strong and tough. He's a sound tackler. He's versatile, can also help us in the return game as well. And his man-to-man cover skills are excellent. And he comes from a super family, really supportive parents. And Greater Atlanta Christian is a really good school that generates a bunch of kids that are Lafayette profile kids. And he's impressive on the field and off the field. And he's been successful in every aspect of his life. raised well by his parents, and just a great addition to our team.
Yeah, good high school football down there. And the funny thing is, you watch these kids, and he dominates on the field. I mean, he just stands out, on the field, almost like he's wearing a different color uniform. And I wrote down a couple things. Has mission trips to China and Colorado. I mean, mission trips to China and Colorado. He took 5 years of Chinese, okay, and he's a National Honor Society. I mean, talk about the right kid, Coach. I mean, this is one of them, and he rounds it out. And he's a kid, again, one of those 6 kids that you got after the early signing day. You got to be happy with those. Some really good defensive backs, Coach, that you brought in this year. And let's talk about one more. We got one more. Last but not least, Zachary Young, a 6'4", 240-pound defensive lineman out of the Pennington school, just about an hour and 15 minutes away down towards Princeton. Big, athletic, had an older brother that played at Nova. Hey, this is a kid that, again, really, really can fill out that D-line room.
Well, Zach comes from a very good school. Comes from an athletic family. Zach is versatile. He plays defensive line. He played linebacker. He plays offensive line. He did it all for Pennington. Smart, tough, competitive, athletic, accelerates off blocks to get to the quarterback. Real good key and diagnosis of plays to find the ball, and plays with excellent effort. So the versatility and how he played were the keys for us. And he's got a lot of potential, and he's going to help us in a lot of ways. So we're thrilled to have Zach part of our team.
Yeah, 135 tackles. He was the Trenton Times preseason player of the year. Coach, really nice job. 11 offensive players, 10 defensive players. You can maybe take a breath and then get back to work tomorrow. But I tell you what, this is a really impressive class. And I think it filled out well for you, like you said, since that early signing day where you got those kids in, but it really filled out well. And you got to be proud of the whole family, everybody that participated up there to bring this together for you. Well,
these 21 kids are special. We really feel good about them, but we're not done. We still got some spots as we finalize the roster as well. And as you know, recruiting is 365 days a year, and then we'll soon get started on the 2022 class. But I just want to thank again Jim Gilchrist and our recruiting class for leading it. Our assistant coaches did a phenomenal job of recruiting their areas and also their position to build those relationships where these student athletes felt comfortable with Lafayette College. And also thank our admissions and enrollment team for all the hard work and great communication that we had with them, and also all the support from our athletic administration. So it's a great day for the Lafayette Leopards as we continue to build a program that everyone's proud of on and off the field.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. Can't thank you enough. We spent there a good hour talking about it. Before we go here, I'd be remiss to ask you, but you know what? We're going to play some football. We don't know what it's going to look like here. All of it's going to look like here in the spring, but you got to be excited to get back on the field, put the whistle back in your mouth, and start calling some plays, right?
Well, we're excited. Once we got word from the Patriot League and our athletic administration that we were planning to play a spring season, my staff and our team was very excited to do so. We're looking forward to that. The plans are still a go. The details will be announced here soon in the coming weeks, and we're thrilled to get back out on the field. So we're excited about this spring and the rare opportunity to compete for a Patriot League championship this spring and also one in the fall. So it's a great time to be a Lafayette Leopard, and thanks to everybody that was responsible for bringing home this great recruiting class.
Absolutely. And hopefully, Coach, soon that field behind you will look like that field behind you. It'll not all be white with 25 inches of snow on it, but we'll get there. It's been a long wait, but we'll get there. And, for everybody here at GoLeopards.com, for John Sabino, for, Gary Laubach, my partner in crime, and Scott Morris and Phil Labella, who does a wonderful job behind the scenes, bringing this entire show together. I know all the Leopard fans out there, we're itching. Everybody's inside. We're itching for football, Coach, and you're bringing it to us. And you just brought us 21 of some of the best athletes in the country, and we really appreciate it. So thank you again. We'll talk to you soon. I will be over at the college. My son's over there now. He's a freshman. He's going to be playing baseball. So hopefully school starts next week and we don't have any more setbacks. But Coach, thanks a lot for a couple minutes. Thank you to you and your staff. And what do you always say, Coach? Lafayette? Go Lafayette, right?
Go Leopards. And Mike, thank you so much. Appreciate your passion for your school and our team. And we do this together and can't wait to get started this spring. Go Leopards.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
For everybody out there, thanks again for joining us. I'm Michael Joseph for the Lafayette Sports Network and GoLeopards.com. Thank everyone for putting this together. And again, 21 new football players. Welcome to Lafayette College for the class of 2025. We will see you for spring football.